Hello, cherries. Welcome to Live Jerry Cherry Saturday, episode 16. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 ways to play the melodic minor scale. And I see my friend Aaron, Short Music here. Oh, yeah, actually, he's not here. It's a comment saying that he's not here, but he'll watch. He'll watch later. That's great. Hey, Lori. Happy spring. Oh, that's right. It's spring. Oh, my God. Spring has sprung. That's so crazy. It's April 20th. It's the first day of spring. Oh, my God. Well, welcome to the first day of spring. And we're going to spring into some really cool guitar stuff. So I hope you have your guitars. It's live episode 16. And I have a coffee. I ran out this morning, and it turns out that I couldn't make coffee today. Hey, Tom, how's it going? I couldn't make my own coffee because my grinder, my bean grinder, broke. It's so weird. Like, it's not one thing, it's another, you know? But this coffee that I get down the street is much better anyway. It's like, you know, the mechanism, the top part, where you put the top on, and then there's a little lever on it that you push down, and that triggers the grinder to work. Well, apparently, I think there's some coffee impacted into the mechanism, and it's just stuck, and it won't start, and I have to get a new one. So I might need a GoFundMe page to raise up some money for my new grinder. No, just kidding. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna play some guitar. We're gonna do the melodic minor, and if you didn't see the video that I released on Wednesday, it was 3 notes per string on the grinder. I'm all mixed up now. 3 notes per string on the grinder. 3 notes per string on the melodic minor scale, and Grinder. We should just play Grinder by Judas Priest. That would be fun. And yeah, well, you know, the Grinder, I got my use out of it. I've had it for a couple years now. So maybe I'll get a new one that has like a, you know, that maybe it's a little bit more precise on the way it cuts. I don't know. There's all kinds of different grinders for. I hear that the grinder has a lot to do with the actual coffee. Believe it or not. Carolyn, what's up, sis? You made it. Good to see you here. So hopefully you can hear everything okay. And like I was saying, before I distracted myself with my grinder, I released a video about melodic minor playing 3 notes per string, you know, all over the neck. Alright, so there's all 7 positions, and you can watch that video. I'll put a card up above, and I'll put a link in my description for that. So check that out. But it's a really great scale to really kind of color up your playing a little bit, because it's very similar to a Dorian scale, which is very common in playing, which is more like a. But the difference is that instead of a minor 7th, has a major 7th. It's very reminiscent of the Stones song. That's right? So it has that vibe to it. It's not harmonic minor, which is more. that we're going to get into next week. That's more of a Spanish type of vibe to it, you know. And but melodic minor has the same type of elements, but it's not the other one. So okay, so it's very similar. So what I'm going to do is I have a little backing track here that I created, and I'll play just a drop of the oops, hold on a second. Sorry about that. There we go. Play a drop of this with just the Dorian so you can see how that feels. And it's just a regular minor chord. E minor, no seventh involved at all. Check it out. Here's regular Dorian. You got the 6. Just let me know if you can hear that okay. Can you hear that okay? Sounds great. Thank you, Kelly. So that was regular Dorian, and I showed that last week in my videos, just part of the major scale. E Dorian is the second note of D, so it would be D major. Now what we're going to do is we're going to play that same progression, which is one chord, but we're going to use the melodic minor scale. Take a listen to this. By changing one note, instead of playing the minor 7th, play the major 7th, which is just one note higher. Kind of like that Rolling Stones song, right? It's like, thanks, Carolyn. Now, a really cool way to kind of get the feel of this, because the melodic minor scale is basically kind of like two different scales put together. There's a diminished scale and there's a whole tone scale. If you look at it, if you go down one step, that would be the 7th degree, and it's a basically it's a, you see what I'm saying? It's like a diminished scale where you have a a half step, whole step, half step. Then you also have, after that, starting on the G, you have a whole tone, which is 4 whole steps. Check that out. So the first part of the scale is the diminished scale. We have half step, whole step, half step. Then you have 4 whole steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what you could do is, to get the sound of this scale, you could break it up and play the diminished part all over the place, and then you could play the whole tone part all over. I'll show you how that feels, just to keep it simple. You can think of this: E, F sharp, and G. Just hit 4 notes: E flat, E, F sharp, and G. Right? So check it out. the E, half step down, playing like an E flat diminished. Different octaves. Skip strings. Now we'll start with the G note and do the whole tone all over, right? Back to the E flat. Wherever there's a G, you can do a whole tone for 4 notes. 1, 2, 3. You just do that all day. So I'm going to the G, the end of my 4-note position pattern, and I'm jumping right up to the G again. Gotta bend it up pitch. I don't know how good that sounds. Alright, so that's a cool trick, huh? You guys doing alright out there? Check my tuning here. I might have went a little bit out. You know, the spring temperature changes things. What are you guys drinking? Is it beer o'clock? Or is it coffee time? Thank you, Lori. This is fun stuff. I really enjoy playing this scale. I really enjoy drinking this coffee too. Let me see what you're saying there, Tom. That's a good question. Let's see. Would this scale be mostly played over minor chords? Well, let's see. Basically, it is depends on where you start it, really. You know, because in that there's 7 chords. You know, there's A 7. You know, the E is a E minor major 7. The F sharp is a minor. The G is actually a major chord with a raised 5th. That's a major. So if you're playing a G major 7 sharp 5, I can't get the Rolling Stones melody out of my head now, right? But so, so that particular scale, once you hit the G part of it, just like I played the G whole tone scale, that's a G major. So do you play it over minor chords? Typically it's a minor scale, but within that scale you have several different modes that are major. Like the G, you have the A, and you have a B. That's major. So over all those chords, those same notes are going to be major. So really, you could be playing a B7 chord and play the E melodic minor scale. Starting on the B, it goes like this. And here's the E melodic minor scale. Within that B position. So I know you checked out that video, and you'll see where all the melodic minor scales are within these positions. And I guess it's good to know because this way you'll see where that scale is all over the neck and get familiar with it. So now here's another thing. We're gonna move on to the next portion, the second way. That was the first way how to play melodic minor. Just play melodic minor, right? Look for the diminished. Look for the whole tone parts. Right? Now, another really cool way is to take one of the modes from this melodic minor. Say, for instance, the second. You have E, then you have F sharp is the second, right? And that mode is really a Dorian flat 2, except the flat 2. But what we're going to do is we're going to take, instead of playing E melodic minor, we're going to play D melodic minor. We're going to change keys. So we're going to move down. Everything's going to shift. You take the whole Earth, right? Say you have like one planet, and you're going to take a photocopy of it, and you're going to leave one planet here, and you're going to take the other planet that's behind it, and you're just going to move it slightly like here, in parallel planets. And maybe it's not that deep. You're just moving keys. And you're going to play the same thing, but in D. So everything we've been playing, you're going to do the same exact thing, only you're just going to move it down to a different key, because it's all interchangeable. Now we're in D melodic minor. But what's cool about this, my backing track that has that E minor chord, we're going to play over that, but with a different scale, with the D melodic minor scale. And what that's going to do is that's going to make the E note a Dorian flat 2. Just like when we were in E melodic minor, it made the second degree of E was Dorian flat 2 because of the series of steps that it has, the progression. Now that's in D, it's going to make E Dorian flat 2, which is minor. So, and it's going to sound like this. You know? You have E melodic minor here. Right? D melodic minor. So, now watch what happens here. We'll play the same progression, and we'll play over D melodic minor instead. Instead of playing E melodic minor. I'll focus on the D melodic minor. Let's see what this sounds like. It's going to sound totally different. Let's get over here. What was that? Don't want that. I don't know where that. Okay. Okay. Technology. Just back to the E melodic minor again for a second. Just so you could refresh on how it sounds. the same thing. You know what, let's take that same idea with the diminished thing. See how that sounds? Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, it adds color. And it's kind of like an outside feel. It's like you're playing jazz. It makes you sound jazzy. So you're playing in a mode now. This mode is a Dorian flat 2, because all the notes that are interesting in here is a flat 2 right here. A regular Dorian would be the notes that really stand out in Dorian, you know, are the major 6, dominant 7. But now we're just changing it up. We're flattening the 2. Okay? Right there. And you could also play arpeggios in this that really emphasize the cool notes. So if I wanted to emphasize what was interesting about this mode, I would play that note, that flat second right here, and that scale is basically the 3rd degree of the D melodic minor, because you have D. Just like we studied in the E melodic minor with all the positions, when it was an E, it was G was the 3rd, right? So in D, F is now. We're a whole step down from everything. And you could play that arpeggio, that chord is an F major 7, sharp 5. See how that sounds over an E note? Weird, huh? An arpeggio would be this. See? And a good way to do this is to think about what it's doing to the E. This first note is an F, so now you have your flat 2 or flat 9. The second note is an A, so that's the 4th of it. The next note is a C sharp, that's the 6th. Okay? And then the next note, you got the 7th, a major 7th of that, so it's just your E again. Back to your F, then you have your octave, so everything just repeats itself again. Flat 9 or flat 2, the 4th, the 6th. Let's see what that sounds like, that arpeggio sounds like over that chord. Right? Mix it up with regular Dorian. Very jazzy. I'm going to teach you one riff, one lick that I came up with myself. It's a combination of all of these scales put together. And it's like if you're playing a Dorian, typical feel over like E minor. I came up with this little line that's like this. You take the like the sixth, and you play all the sixth, minor seventh, major seventh, and the octave. And you just kind of play it in a pattern like this. And then down an octave. So you're just taking chromatic notes from the sixth, the seventh, major seventh, octave. So check it out, you can go. Where is it? It's like. So it sounds over this. All right. So that's the second riff. Now we have one more, last one, and it's the jazziest use of this particular melodic minor. This is what every jazz, and I'm not a jazz guy, which you'll know after we do this next section. But I do know that this particular scale is used in jazz a lot. It's probably the most common scale used in jazz, but it's one of the modes that is from this. Out of all 7 of them, there's one mode, it's called the altered scale, and it's the 7th mode of melodic minor. So if you take the E where we're at, we're going to move back up to E, which is melodic minor. Right? If you start a half step down, the 7th degree, you have the altered scale, depending on where the root is, but this is and it's altered because every note is altered. You have right? Like all those notes are like. So what we'll do is we're going to take this progression and we're going to move this up. Instead of playing E flat, we're going to play E altered. So what that does is we're in F melodic minor. See, it's weird how this scale functions differently than the regular major scale. You kind of take the scale and you move it in different places. You know, like what we did before. You know, we took the scale, which was E melodic minor, and we shifted it to D melodic minor. And we played over the same thing. So there's a typical jazz progression. It's a 2-5-1, and in A, it sounds like this. You know, right? You've heard that before. What you can do is, over that progression, you're going to play an F melodic minor. Now, why an F? You're wondering, like, why an F? Because I'll tell you why an F. What the F? You guys with me out there? You get my joke? What the F? Do I move the scale to imply the next chord change? Usually move the scale to imply the next chord change. Well, I'll show you in a second what I mean by this. We're going to play in an F because over this progression, you have the 2th chord is a B in A. We're in A major now, key of A major. The 2 is B because you have A, B. The 5 is E because you're in A, B, C, D, E. That's 5 to the 1. That's what that jazz cadence is. 2, 5, 1. Now, how F comes into play is because the 5 is E, and that's the dominant chord that wants to resolve, right? Resolves nicely, 5 to a 1. Now, this 5 chord is where you could alter all your notes. You don't have to alter them, but you can. You can play strictly 8 major all over the place, this would be an E5, E Mixolydian. But you could also take that and alter it, and what that means by altering is you're playing the altered scale, like I mentioned before. Now, the E altered scale is the same scale we've been playing. In that 3 notes per string, you'll see that in the 7th position is the pattern of the altered scale. So if we play the altered scale in E, which is the 7th position, we're in F. So basically, F melodic minor, one of the modes of that would be E altered. There's 5 chords in E. So if we play the F melodic minor scale, when it goes to that E, we're essentially playing altered, E altered. And sounds like this. Let's just give it a shot so you can hear what it sounds like. Let's change my chord progression here. I have something different. It's a guitar 2, and it's a 2-5-1. First, I'll play something where it's just very, very in the key of A, straightforward. So yeah, that's basically like diatonic. Right, okay, so that's that. Now we'll try it. We'll play the F melodic minor. And you can do that over the 2 chord as well, over this chord. And then we'll go, when it hits the A, we're going to get out of F melodic minor, we're going to go back to A, because it needs to resolve to the A. So watch. All right. So you get it. And basically, it's good to just play all the different arpeggios to try to get the sounds that you're trying to hear right in one position. Like if you're in F, go for this F. And the next one. And so on. All right, guys. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I think, what is it? It's about that time, 1:30. So I haven't really looked too much in the chat here. Let me see what you guys are talking about here. Uncle Ian, my man. So glad to see you. That's very smooth jazz. See, I'm not a jazz player. I'm practicing. I want to. When I retire someday, I could play in the jazz clubs. But like I wrote a blog recently about playing and learning and a lot of information, and it's like I know a lot about this stuff, but I don't really apply it as much as I should. So knowing all this stuff and actually applying it is two different things. So that's why I'm, big reason why I'm doing this on Saturdays is to actually get better at this stuff myself and to share what I know and hopefully get some feedback from it and help in case, you guys don't know it as well. And it's all in good fun, What else are we going to do on Saturdays? My takeaway is the altered scale. Yeah. Well, the altered scale, it's so cool because it just resolves nicely. It's like going to that A from the E altered. This is all the notes that are not in A. Because you can go like this. You can go. E mixolydian. Like this. Right, that sounds good. It's nice, but it's a little bit, there's a little more tension there. Even if you just hit one note from the altered scale. Or two. Because right now, this note is not in in the scale. So it'd be like a see how that tension is? Or even this second note. It's altered, it's not in there. It would be like a sharp 9 because you have a minor note here. And that would be like this. It's like the Jimi Hendrix chord. It would sound like, no, it sound like this. It sound here we have a major and a minor. So that's what that sounds like with that going to the resolving to the A. So even the next one's a major third. The next one is a flat 5. So if you hit that chord, which is flat 5, resolves. All these different chords in this altered scale resolve nicely. And what's the next one? What is it? Sharp 5. So you have this one. Here's a sharp 5, right? Yeah, sharp 5. So that resolves the tension, anticipation, the music. So all those notes are in that altered scale that want to resolve to the tonic chord. So instead of hitting just a 5 chord to the 1, you're hitting a 5 chord, but you're altering all those notes, and it's legal. Like you can do it. And not that it's legal, it actually just sounds good, you know. Because if it sounds good, it's right. If it doesn't sound good, it's wrong. And what's the next note? 5. Let's give you a minor 6. 5. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, here's the flat 5. 6. That's a 6. And then the dominant 7. So that's it. So you have a flat 9, a sharp 9, a flat 5, and a sharp 5. You have 4 altered notes that you could change. Play one of them, play 2 of them, play 3 of them, 4 of them, whatever. They all resolve nicely. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully you got something out of that. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Check out my last video that I made. I'll put a card right up here, and I'll put a link in the description about the melodic minor scale and 3 notes per string. And, you know, this was fun because now we could use it. You know, it's one thing to just play the scales all over the place, but to actually make music with it is the beauty. So next week I'm going to actually work on one last scale of this, and it's the harmonic minor. It's slightly different. And there's actually a couple more scales I want to get into. The double harmonic minor, and no, harmonic major and double harmonic major. So it's 2 more after the harmonic minor. So thank you, Uncle Ian. It's so cool to hang out with you guys on Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your day. You know, I know it's beer o'clock out there. Have a good one. Have a good week, Tom. Very cool of you, Uncle Ian. Great seeing you guys. Thank you, Lori, for hanging out, and Kelly. You guys just make my Saturdays very pleasurable. Really appreciate you guys being here. And, you know, love hanging out with y'all on Saturdays, drinking some coffee, maybe a few brews, listening to the rap music drive by. You know, I am in Brooklyn, you know, so. Have a great week. Enjoy the rest of your day. I know where I'll be at 6 o'clock. I'll be at Kelly's Music Corner watching another great guitarist on Facebook, Fortune Esposito. Kelly's Music Corner. I got the shirt. Thank you. Thank you, Uncle Liam. Enjoy the rest of your day, man. Have a good weekend. Thank you, Lori, so much for being here. Very cool of you. Thank you, Tom. Have a good week, everybody. For sure, man. Spread the love around. So practice that guitar. Let's go. Let's jam. looking forward to getting together with you in person and jamming out. All right, guys, enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, be cool, be kind, and be cherry. Peace, guys. Love yous.